All right, welcome back. This is day 3 of the bio unit. Last two was the succulent, and then we had the grassy head. Now we're gonna work in the animal kingdom. This was the plant kingdom. So for this animal kingdom unit, we're gonna put these little brine shrimp eggs, these little cysts, into their next phase of life. So you'll start with your cup, your brine shrimp cysts. You need salt and a little scooper, a little spoon. So to begin, we'll get a spoonful of salt. Make sure to do this over your cup. You can see that it's a pretty good heaping spoonful. Throw that inside. Then you can grab your brine shrimp cysts. And you grab a palito. And you only need a little tiny bit. Just the tip of the palito would be enough. Just like that. Throw them in there. Then you grab water. You're gonna fill it up to there's a line on your cup. Right around here, right before the top, and that's where you're gonna stop. Make sure you stir everything really good. You want all the salt to be dissolved. Okay, so the water that we use should be warm. If you can't find warm water, you can set this whole cup as it is right now. You can set it out in the sun for an hour or two to warm up the water. And this is all to reactivate the brine shrimp cysts. This is going to tell them that there's water now, and they can start producing cells and start growing into little brine shrimp. And brine shrimp in general are very, very interesting. The way they work, the way they reproduce is during times of rain, when the water's just right and there's plenty of food and there's plenty of safety. They start to reproduce. They create all these tiny little eggs, and the eggs kind of just float in the water until the water dries out. So once the water dries out, the little eggs turn to cysts, which is what you see floating on top of the water right now. And they won't reactivate. They won't. They can stay dormant. They can stay away for really long time. They can go through winter. They can go through droughts. They're very, very impressive little creatures, and they won't reactivate. They won't start going on to their next stage of life, which is turning back into brine shrimp, until the right conditions are met, which is warm water, safety, and salt. And yeah, that's kind of it. 5 to 6 days, you start seeing little tiny brine shrimp floating around, and they're super tiny. So we gave you a magnifying glass. It has 2 lenses. It has a pretty good powerful one right here, but an even more powerful one on this side over here. And the way you use this, a lot of folks kind of put it in front of them and use it like this, but the actual way to use it is to put it right up against your eyeball, and then you just look. You focus, you move your object in and out until you can see the little things, and then you can use a smaller one. You get even closer and see even better. Just like that. So now that you have your brine shrimp in your cup, they're nice and happy, you need to oxygenate the water. So these guys breathe very similar to crabs and fish, so they need oxygen in the water, and the way we introduce that is through our breath. When you breathe out, it's not all carbon dioxide. There is still a little bit of oxygen in there. but that's enough for these little brain shrimp. So you grab your straw and you gently blow in there. You don't want to splash them all out. Just like that. And you do that 2 or 3 times a day until they're all grown up. So you know they're all grown up when they reach about a 1/4 inch. That's it's kind of big actually for these little tiny cysts. But yeah, so they'll be about that big. And that's when they're adults, and you'll know that you don't have to give them too much more oxygen after that. But yeah, as these guys are growing, after 5 days, you have to feed them. And they can eat starches. If you have cornstarch, you can do a tiny little bit of cornstarch in there. You could do like tortilla chips or bread, but you only need a little tiny bit per week. So you can see right here, a little speck of I'm using cracker, right? Just a little tiny speck. You grab it and you crumble it up. You throw it in there, and that's more than enough for a week. You don't want to overfeed them because then the water gets, well, the food starts rotting and it just messes up the water like that. Next thing you could do is, you know, once they're fully grown, you can start playing with them. So if these guys react to light, you can grab a flashlight or your phone light, and if you put it on one side, they're all gonna kind of travel that way and crowd in that area. And then you can put it over here, you know, mess around with different colors, and see how they react. They're pretty fun, and they live a pretty good amount of time. It's about a month, maybe a month and a half, depending on how well you take care of them. If you're lucky, you'll see the females producing eggs, and you know that they have eggs because they'll have a little dark sac under their little swimmer feet. And then you can start the whole process all over again. Let this dry out and then re-water them in about 6 months, and you have more brine shrimp. But this whole thing is called the cycle of life, right? And we have it right here in our little cup. And we could put it right here next to our other bio projects. All right, see you later.